It's the discrimination that makes fat people unhealthy. Nothing else.
McDonald's breakfast is fire.
Recently, there's been a movement on the internet called fat acceptance. This is where people will openly say that it's perfectly okay to stay obese. You shouldn't try to exercise or eat healthy. You're perfectly okay the way you are. Now, it's getting even more insane. Basically, fat activists are claiming that obesity is genetic, and somehow well-established doctors from Harvard are actually backing up these fat activists with scientific claims. They're basically saying that you have no control over how fat you are and that it is entirely genetic.
But there is something clearly wrong with the woman on the right. Not saying that she's not worthy and deserving of love, because she is. But she's unhealthy. She can hardly fit in her freaking shoes. Why on earth would we promote people walking around and looking like this? And it's honestly mean to say that someone is beautiful and all this stuff when it's like we're literally lying to them and making them think that it's okay to be that way when it's really not, because it's hurting their health and it's shortening their lives. If you really care about people, you tell them the truth.
Now that sounds like a pretty reasonable person if you ask me. They're not actually like mocking that person or hating on that person. They're just saying that it is extremely unhealthy to be at that weight if you want to live a very long and fulfilling life. Now let's see what a fat activist says about the same video.
Here's a point-by-point breakdown on why everything that creator said is not okay and wrong. To start, you cannot determine someone's health just by how they look.
Actually, you can. What you're talking about is actually the exception. If I take one look at a person like Nikocado Avocado, I can immediately tell that that is not a healthy man. I don't really need to know anything else about him at all, like his diet, his non-existent workout routine, his genetics, nothing about him, just his looks. Now, you can argue that somebody with a six-pack, for example, could also be unhealthy, but it's just not as likely unless they're chain smoking like 6 cigarettes a day, or they are prone to cancer, something like that. Obviously, someone who's well-built can also be unhealthy, but they are the exception. Generally, you can tell how healthy someone is just by their looks. In fact, that's exactly what doctors do even today. I had a bunch of health problems like a year ago, and when I was like malnutrition, each time I walked into the doctor's office, he would literally be like, "You look horrible today. I can tell you've been suffering just by how you look." And now he says I look like a healthy, chubby panda. Absolute gigasus.
Someone, thin or fat, could be addicted to something, could have really high cholesterol or low bone density or too high of a resting heart rate. They might have a chronic illness or other autoimmune disease. Even yes, thin people could have type 2 diabetes and high blood pressure.
Yeah, you're actually right, they could, but most people actually don't. Believe it or not, most people actually don't have autoimmune diseases. Most people don't have genuine problems that forces them to be fat. And even those that do, in majority of cases, you can still work through it. If your diet is perfect and you exercise regularly, it's very rare that you will not see results.
Also, some people are their healthiest when they're fat. And finally, the most reliable explanation scientists have right now for what makes fat people less healthy than skinny people is the abuse they undergo.
Okay, I don't know where she's pulling out these facts from because they make no sense. Where is your source? Are you talking about that paid off doctor slash scientist that loves media attention and is perfectly comfortable letting people suffer and lie to the masses? And I don't know who actually told you that some people are healthiest when they're fat. Nobody is healthiest when they're fat. Here's a fun fact. Most people are healthy when their bones are strong, their muscles are strong, when they get enough nutrients and vitamins from like the foods they eat, and they're eating healthy foods and not McDonald's all day, and when you move on a regular basis, you know, like humans are supposed to.
The fact that they are paid tens of thousands of dollars less per year than their straight-sized counterparts, the fact that they're harassed in the street, not being able to find clothing that fits or sit at a restaurant or fit in an MRI machine to get preventative scans that you need.
Okay, I'm sorry. If you can't fit in an MRI machine, I don't think the machine is the problem anymore. At that point, you gotta reevaluate your life. I don't think these people actually realize, like, people can't just accommodate you for everything. Like, an MRI machine cost millions of dollars. So how are they gonna have an XL-size MRI machine for 0.0001% of the population, as in you specifically? They're not going to do that. At that point, you have to lose weight to fit in the MRI machine. Not to mention, you don't even need an MRI machine. We already know what the problem is. Now, she also mentioned the obesity wage gap, which is some absolute shocking mental gymnastics there. Call me skeptical Sally over here, but I don't think an employer is purposely paying a bigger person less money for doing the same work as a thinner person. I think the number probably comes from the fact that fit people may possibly work harder and longer and can take up some jobs that bigger people just can't. But that's just a guess using some common sense and logic, but you know, apparently that's not allowed anymore.
It's the discrimination that makes fat people unhealthy. Nothing else.
All right, I'd just like to play this clip for a second.
McDonald's breakfast is fire. So I had a hash brown, and then this is a sausage and egg and cheese McMuffin. And everyone is sleeping on these $2 iced coffees from McDonald's. Okay. Then I had a midday turtle sundae. I don't really know what you want from me. I deserved it. So I went grocery shopping, and I got myself some popcorn. Of course, I washed it down with water. Then I made myself this little salad for lunch.
That's right, guys. It's discrimination. Nothing else. Absolutely. That person could have done absolutely nothing to prevent becoming obese. It's definitely not the fact that she's shoving McDonald's into her mouth all day, every day. Nothing to do with that. It's all entirely down to genetics. Let's just absolve her of all responsibility, tell her it's perfectly okay to be like that, and then laugh at her when she dies at age 40, because that's what you want to do.
So actually, unsolicitedly telling fat people the cold hard truth, as this creator suggests, makes fat people's health worse.
Telling them it's okay makes them die. I don't know why we are painted as the bad guys when we are actually the caring people here. I don't know why you're acting like you care about them. Because of your advice, they take zero accountability for their life and they do nothing to actually change their actions. Call me an evil person, but I would rather hurt their feelings in the present moment and make them make a lifestyle change than pander to them, tell them it's perfectly okay, and then watch them die.
Dr. Fatima Cody Stanford, an obesity doctor at Mass General Hospital, an associate professor at Harvard Medical School, says common beliefs about obesity are all wrong.
But 96% of those participants in The Biggest Loser regained their weight because their brain worked well. It was supposed to bring them back to store what they needed or what the brain thinks it needs.
So willpower?
Throw that out the window.
Yeah, just throw it out the window because our brain just auto-controls our actions, right? There's nothing that woman could do to prevent, you know, shoving McDonald's down her throat all day, every day. It's just my brain, guys. I don't have no control over it.
My last patient that I saw today was a young woman who's 39, who struggles with severe obesity. She's been working out 5 to 6 times a week. She's eating very little. Her brain is defending a certain set point.
A set point, says Dr. Stanford, is a range of weight your brain is in charge of maintaining. One theory is that it's an evolutionary survival mechanism that helped retain fat during famines.
What are you talking about? Like, yeah, we have a general weight that we probably function best at, but that weight isn't 500 pounds. Our body and mind is never going to push us towards becoming 500 pounds, okay? At that point, it is an addiction that has taken over your brain. Our body naturally does not want to be 500 pounds, and you wording it like that is immensely harmful considering you're a well-respected, established doctor. I don't know about respected anymore, but well-established doctor. Please don't listen to these people. Exercise, eat healthy. You are in control of your own life, okay? Click this video. I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.